For those of us of a certain vintage may recall the National Hunt racing took a back seat not long after the Grand National. Nowadays there is jumps racing pretty much all year round, but for the purists it is October onwards when the proper jumps season gets underway. For this piece we are going to delve into the stats of the most recent 5-year period during September through to the end of November to see if we can highlight a few of the yards that may be worth following this time around. We will focus on UK racing and stables that have had at least 50 runners over our review period. We will also concentrate on stables with a decent strike rate, circa 15% or better, along with a positive profit profile. The table details the most productive yards during the above period, and we will now take a closer look at each of the trainers, starting with John Joe A.J. O'Neill. Just over a year ago, May 2024, a new era began at Jackdaws Castle with John Joe's son A.J. joining him to share the training licence. John Joe had been the resident trainer at Jackdaws since 2001 and had a Grand National and Cheltenham Gold Cup amongst his numerous winners. A.J. O'Neill had been working at Jackdaws for a number of years, dividing his time between assistant trainer duties and riding under rules as an amateur jockey. Based on the data shown, you could have made a healthy return just blindly backing all of the runners from the yard over the last 5-year period during September to November. 4 out of the 5 years were profitable, which is a positive start to proceedings. If we now consider the type of National Hunt race they were competing in, we find the following. It is clear from the above stats that the ones to pay close attention to are the hurdlers and bumper runners. However, before we discard the chasers, there is one more angle to consider, namely the performance by track. If we break down these results by race type, we find some interesting figures. So, by focusing on the tracks with the best historical performance, we can include the chasers. This gives us a system for backing the National Hunt runners trained by John Joe / A.J. O'Neill during the months September to November when they are competing at FFO's Lass, Bangor, Huntingdon, Carlisle, Southwell and Atoxeter. Moving on, the next trainer in the original table is Nicky Richards. This particular trainer has appeared in many a micro method as he continues to churn out winners year in year out. Based on the edge of the Lake District National Park, Nicky took over the reins in 1997 and has trained in excess of 800 winners and amassed £5 million in prize money over the years. His recent record over the September to November review period is as follows. With the exception of 2020, the remaining years had been positive, albeit marginally last time around. If we next consider the results by race type, we see the following. Clearly the bumper runners are the ones to avoid, but both the chasers and hurdlers were profitable to follow over the review period. If we drill down a little to the performance by racecourse, we find some contrasting results. For example, Perth netted 1 winner from 31 runners, whereas Carlisle, Ayr and Hexham provided 32 winners from 127 runners, which amounts to a solid 25.2% strike rate. If we focus on the runners at 5 tracks, we have the makings of a micro method. So we back the National Hunt runners in chases and hurdles trained by Nicky Richards during the months September to November when they are competing at Ayr, Carlisle, Hexham, Sedgefield and Wetherby. Next up in the article is the legend, Venetia Williams. To discover more about the runners you should be backing from the Williams stable during the next couple of months, read the rest of the article by joining On Course Profits by clicking the link in the description below.